Are you ready to learn the easiest tunnel card ever? Do you know what a tunnel card is? Well, it's a fun fold, but we have a plan to show you how to create this easy tunnel card. You are going to love it. Welcome to Creative Moments by G. I'm G, and so excited that you're with us today. So let's head down to the crafting table and let's get started. Now, I'm just going to show you a little bit of what a tunnel card looks like. Now, realize this is very different than the one we're going to make. This is a landscape tunnel card, and it opens up like this. Now, I'm not going to show you too much of it because I want to save that for the very end. We have two landscape tunnel cards to show you. Right now, we are going to make a portrait tunnel card. So let's bring in our trimmer and let's go ahead and get our cardstock cut to the right size. We need to go ahead and extend this arm if you're using the Stampin' Up trimmer, and we're going to cut this at 8.5, which we already have here, by 5.5. So let's get that cut. Now, this creates two portrait cards. So because I already have this, I'm going to go ahead and just score it at 4 1/4. That's a great tip. I can go ahead and put this in my stash of base cards ready to go for the next video. Now we're going to take this piece of cardstock that we cut and we are going to score it at 4 1/4. And this becomes our base card right here. So we have our base card. Now we need to go ahead and make our tunnel part of the card that goes on the inside of our base card. So let me show you the designer series paper that I've selected. Look how gorgeous that is. And I want to remind you that all the measurements and supplies will be listed over on creativemomentsbyg.com on my blog. Now, today is Technique Tuesday, so we're showing you this tunnel card, but we also have some other tips along the way. So we have this piece of paper cut to, let's just double check. We have this cut to 8 1/4 because we want it to fit inside the base card, and 5 1/4. So we're just double checking to make sure that we have that cut correctly. And now we need to do some score lines. Now remember, if you are going to use DSP, which is very quick and easy, you'll want to make sure and not push too hard when you do your score lines because you can cut right through the paper. We're going to score at 4 1/8. And then we're going to back it down to 2. So you can score first at 2 if you want, and then you can slide it over and you can score at 4 1/8, and then keep sliding. You want to score at 6 1/4. So we're going to get that scored right there. Now this is the inside mechanism of our tunnel card. Let me show you how you fold this. You fold in on the side score lines. So find those, and we're going to fold in almost like a gatefold. And then we're going to fold down on this middle line. So this is how the tunnel card fits on your base card. But let's go ahead and bring in our bone folder. Give it a good crease. And we are going to use an oval. Here are two ovals that I put together. Now I put them together like this because I used it to cut out a frame, because I'm going to pop this on the outside of our card. And look at that. So I just created this frame. But for the inside, the actual tunnel part, you can use a rectangle, a circle. We decided to use an oval. So I'm going to cut this using the smaller oval, and I'm going to center this. So let's just get this lined up on our grid mat right here. And I'm going to make sure I have the same distance here, and then also I'm going to look at my score lines on the side. Or you can use this center line to get everything lined up as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit of removable tape. And we love using this highlighter tape. You get so much of it, you don't use very much of it when you need it, and it lasts forever. You can check this out in our Amazon store. Just look below this video and you can go to our Amazon store, and I just have it very conveniently for you in that store, so you don't have to search for it. Okay, so let's just bring in our embossing machine and let's just get this cut. Okay, we're just going to pop this out and make sure you save this oval because you can certainly use this on another card. Look how beautiful that is. Oh, love those colors. Just going to pop off this frame and look at that, perfectly cut. Now we are going to bring in our base card. We're going to lay it down, and remember, this mechanism was cut a little smaller because I wanted you to be able to see this border of this beautiful Parakeet Party cardstock. So now what we need to do is I'm going to place a stamp right here that you can see. So I'm just going to very lightly put a mark so I can gauge where the center is. So we have everything lined up the way we need it. Just put little pencil mark. Just like that. And I'm going to bring in this beautiful sentiment that says, "With all my heart." I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy. So tap, 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 and make sure I have enough. And I'm just going to center it. Look at that. Just beautiful. Now you'll want to bring in a really good eraser so that you don't smear your pencil marks. And this mono is perfect. Now I didn't let this dry, so you want to make sure don't hit that blue with this eraser because it could smudge your sentiment and you don't want that. Okay. So we have this. All we need to do now is get this lined up. And I'm just going to fold it just like this. I have everything lined up just the way I want it, and I'm going to just bring in my glue, and I'm going to put glue right here. And I'm just folding over my card right on top of this. Now I'm going to turn it upside down and add my glue on this side. Just close my card and hold it. And now we're just going to open it up and look at that. See how easy that is to create? Now, you can just add some DSP here and you would be done. That's why I call it the easiest tunnel fun fold ever. However, we're going to add just a little bit of goodness to the front of this card just to jazz it up just a little bit. So let me show you what we're going to do. We actually cut some strips of matching paper. So we're going to add this to the side. And we have taken some DSP and we're going to use a technique with our embossing folder called raking. Let me show you how we do that. Grab your embossing folder that you want to use, grab your ink, and make sure you're putting it on the right side. And we know the top side is the side that has Stampin' Up on it. So that's the area I want to rake. Now, when I have the ink like this, I'm going to turn it over. Because if you don't turn it over that way and you rake this way, you might pull it back and you don't want it to open. So once you have it open, just flip it. And now we're going to just rake down this embossing folder. Look at that color. And we are going to take our piece of paper, we're going to lay it down, and then we're going to run it through our embossing machine. So let's just get that. Close it up. Bring in our embossing machine one more time. Look at that beautiful color. Look at that. Now, this is very easy to clean up. You just run this through some water. So we're just going to put that to the side and I'll clean up later. Now, I already have one that is completely dry because this is still wet a little bit, so I want to make sure it dries. So I went ahead and I used this, and as it dries, it lightens up. Now, let me show you another one of the cards that we used the raking on. Look at that. We used our embossing folder. We raked it with early espresso on pecan pie cardstock. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? So this raking is a fantastic technique to use. Now, what I want to do is I just want to get this. I already cut it so that we have a little bit of border around. And I want to just line this up, see where it needs to go, and then I'm going to glue it down. So let's just go ahead, bring in our glue, and get these strips laid down. Always go from the outside in. We're just going to put this right in the center, just like this. Oh, and this embossing folder is so pretty. And when you add the raking, it just becomes amazing. So let's just get that lined up. So look at this. We have our outside. We're going to put a sentiment on the outside. We have our beautiful inside. Now, something else that we want to do to the inside. Remember, I told you I did this frame just to kind of set it apart just a little bit and make it pop. So we are going to just add a little bit of glue around this frame. And when you go to fold it, just kind of give it a good crease right there. You open it up and you see that just gives it a little added interest, doesn't it? So now let's go ahead and finish the front of our card. I'm going to use this beautiful saying, "Thanks for blessing my life." We're just going to stamp it right here in some Night of Navy. And I'm just going to use a really unique shape. It's a wonderful die, and it cuts it out just like this. Look how pretty that is. Now I am just adding this right to the front of this card on some dimensionals. Just going to add this right into the center. Now, sometimes I take my label and I go ahead and I tip it in a different color, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep this a very quick and easy tunnel card. You could, of course, add some roses behind this because you have it set up on dimensionals, right? But I wanted just to keep this very quick and easy so that you could see you can go make this probably in about 10 minutes. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Now let me show you, if you want to take it to the next level, you can create a landscape card and create a scene. Now I did show you this one just a little bit. Here's our landscape. We put the sentiment up on dimensionals and then slid underneath it some foliage, some Christmas foliage. And then look when you open this up. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. And all we did differently is we turned it landscape. Instead of turning it portrait, we turned it landscape and we cut with a rectangle. Look at that. So pretty. We created the scene. We used that beautiful designer series paper back behind that has a beautiful snowy wintry scene on it. And we added some bushes on the inside. Look at that. Just gorgeous. Definitely a keepsake. And finally, we wanted to show you another landscape, a possibility that you could make. Look at this one. We added that beautiful sending smiles across the miles, and you open it up and look at that. Once again, we just turned it landscape and added, it's almost like a diorama, right? So we have our really super easy tunnel card that's portrait, so easy to create. We have our two landscapes that kind of take it to the next level. Take a moment and leave a comment. Which do you like? Are you going to go for the easy tunnel that you can make very quickly? Or do you want to maybe make a keepsake card that someone will put on their desk and they can just look at that beautiful landscape and the scenery every day? So let me know below which is your favorite. Well, thank you so much for spending your time with us today on Technique Tuesday. We hope that you love this easiest tunnel card ever. Well, we want you to go out and make it a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.